The power of consistency over motivation. Have you ever had one of those days when you wake up feeling fired up, ready to take on the world, only to find that by the afternoon, that motivation has completely faded? Maybe you're pumped to work on your goals in the morning, but by noon, you're making excuses, postponing tasks, and finding distractions. Sound familiar? Motivation can be powerful, but it's fleeting. Here's the truth. Consistency is what gets results, not motivation. Today, we'll dive into why consistency will always beat motivation and how you can use it to make real progress, no matter how you feel. Motivation is like a spark. It ignites your fire, but unless you keep fueling it, that fire burns out. Every one of us has experienced the feeling of being motivated to achieve something, whether it's working out, starting a new project, or learning a new skill. But have you ever noticed how that motivation quickly fades? One minute you're excited, and the next you're procrastinating, telling yourself, I'll do it tomorrow. The problem with relying solely on motivation is that it's temporary. It's a feeling that can come and go. So, what happens when that excitement fades? You stop moving forward. This is where consistency comes into play. The secret to success, the key to achieving long-term goals, and the ability to make meaningful progress comes from showing up every single day, even when you don't feel like it. Why motivation fails? Here's the hard truth. Motivation alone is unreliable. It's natural to feel excited and driven at the start, but over time, that energy dwindles. Why? Because motivation is linked to your emotions, and our emotions are fickle. They change from day to day based on our mood, energy levels, and circumstances. Some days you'll feel on top of the world, and other days, it'll feel like dragging yourself out of bed is a chore. What happens when you don't have motivation? You procrastinate, make excuses, or give up. But consistency isn't dependent on feelings. It's about building habits and showing up, even when motivation isn't there. When you rely on consistency instead of motivation, you make progress no matter how you feel on any given day. Consistency is the key that unlocks steady progress, regardless of mood or motivation. The problem with motivation-based goals. Setting goals based solely on motivation can lead to disappointment. Think about it. How many times have you set a goal when you were feeling excited? Maybe you promised yourself you'd go to the gym every day, start a new hobby, or stick to a healthy eating plan. You start strong, fueled by excitement, but then life happens. Motivation wanes, distractions come up, and before you know it, you've fallen off track. The issue with this approach is that motivation is not sustainable. When motivation fades, you're left with no backup plan, no structure to keep you on course. That's why the most successful people aren't necessarily the ones who feel motivated every day. They're the ones who have built consistent habits that don't rely on motivation. The true power of consistency. Consistency is the secret weapon of high achievers. It's about showing up every day, even on days when you don't feel like it. Consistency builds over time, compounding your small efforts into significant results. Think about fitness. You might not see major changes after a week of working out, but after months of consistent effort, the results are undeniable. It's the same with any goal, whether it's building a business, mastering a skill, or improving your mental health. When you rely on consistency, you're creating habits that move you forward, step by step, even when motivation isn't there. Progress becomes inevitable when you're consistently putting in the effort. The mindset shift: focus on the process, not the outcome. Here's the mindset shift you need. Stop focusing on the outcome and start focusing on the process. Motivation often ties us to the end result. I'll work out so I can lose weight, or I'll work hard to get promoted. But focusing on the outcome can be overwhelming and disheartening when progress seems slow. Instead, shift your focus to the daily actions you need to take. Discipline and consistency are built through small, incremental steps that add up over time. When you focus on the process, you stop relying on motivation and start developing a mindset of steady, daily improvement. The more you practice consistency, the more it becomes second nature, and you'll see the results even when you don't feel motivated. Now that we've explored why motivation is unreliable and the true power of consistency, let's dive into how you can build a consistent routine that will help you overcome procrastination and stay on track no matter how you're feeling. In the next part, we'll break down practical steps and actionable strategies you can implement today to make consistency your superpower. Part 2. Overcoming procrastination and building consistency. Step 1. Start small. When it comes to building consistency, starting small is essential. We often procrastinate because the task at hand feels overwhelming. Whether it's a new fitness routine, starting a business, or working toward a career goal, the sheer size of the task can make us feel paralyzed. That's where small actions come in. Instead of diving straight into a massive goal, break it down into tiny, manageable steps. Think of it as building a habit rather than going for an all-or-nothing approach. For example, if you want to write a book, don't focus on writing the entire manuscript at once. Start with writing just 1 page a day. If you want to work out, don't aim for an hour at the gym on your first day. Start with 10 minutes of movement. The magic lies in the small, consistent actions. Momentum builds as you continue to show up, and over time, these small actions add up to big results. Small steps create a sense of accomplishment, which fuels the desire to keep going. By focusing on manageable actions, you're more likely to stay consistent without feeling overwhelmed. Step 2. Create a routine. Once you've broken your tasks down into small, manageable steps, the next step is to create a routine. Having a routine is like having a map to guide you. It takes the guesswork out of your day and helps you stay consistent, even when motivation isn't there. Think about your daily schedule. What tasks do you need to accomplish, and when is the best time to tackle them? For example, if you're working on a fitness goal, schedule a time every morning to go for a walk or do a short workout. If you're building a business, set aside time in the morning for deep work without distractions. The key to a good routine is consistency, not perfection. Even if you don't feel motivated, stick to your routine. Just show up, whether it's to your desk, your workout, or any other activity you need to prioritize. The more consistent you are, the more ingrained your routine becomes. Remember, a routine is not about rigid schedules. It's about forming habits that make it easier to take action. As you continue to follow a routine, it will become automatic, and that's when consistency becomes effortless. Step 3. Use time blocking. One powerful tool for building consistency is time blocking. Time blocking is when you dedicate specific blocks of time to specific tasks. This ensures that you give your full attention to each activity without the temptation to multitask or get distracted. Start by scheduling your day in blocks of time. For example, you could block off 1 hour in the morning to focus solely on a project, then take a 30-minute break, and then block off another hour for a different task. During that block of time, focus solely on the task at hand. Don't check emails, don't scroll social media, just focus on the work you need to do. This method helps you avoid decision fatigue. When you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing at any given time, it's easier to stay consistent because you're not wasting energy deciding what to do next. Over time, this builds into a habit, and you'll be more consistent in making progress toward your goals. Step 4. Set realistic goals and expectations. One common reason people fail to stay consistent is that they set goals that are too unrealistic. When you aim too high, it's easy to get discouraged when you don't immediately see results. It's important to set realistic goals that are challenging but also achievable. For instance, if your goal is to run a marathon, don't expect to be running 26 miles on your first day. Start by running small distances and gradually build up your stamina. Similarly, if you're starting a business, don't expect immediate massive profits. Start by setting smaller goals, like building a website or acquiring your first few customers. The key is to set achievable, incremental goals that build upon each other. Each time you hit a small goal, celebrate it. This builds positive reinforcement and keeps you motivated to keep going. As you achieve small successes, the bigger picture becomes more attainable, and you'll be more likely to stay consistent in your efforts. Step 5. Focus on systems, not just results. One of the biggest mistakes we make is focusing only on the end result. While goals are important, it's the system you create to achieve those goals that will make you consistently successful. Systems are the daily habits and processes that drive your progress. For example, if your goal is to lose weight, the result is losing pounds. But the system is your daily routine of exercising, eating healthy, and tracking your progress. Focusing on the system ensures that you are taking consistent action, regardless of how fast you see the results. This approach shifts your mindset from, "I want to achieve this," to, "I am committed to doing this every day." As you focus on the system, you'll find that results come more naturally. Focusing on the process, rather than obsessing over the outcome, helps you stay consistent, and ultimately, you'll reach your goal without the pressure of perfection. Step 6. Hold yourself accountable. Accountability is one of the strongest tools you can use to maintain consistency. When you're working alone, it's easy to skip a task or put something off. But when you know someone is expecting results or checking in on your progress, it creates a sense of responsibility. Start by telling someone about your goals. This could be a friend, family member, or colleague who will help hold you accountable. You could also use accountability apps like StickK or Habitica, where you can set goals and track your progress, sharing it with others to increase motivation. Another great way to stay accountable is to track your progress. You can use a simple journal, an app, or a habit tracking tool to log your daily actions. Seeing your progress on paper or on screen reinforces your commitment and builds a positive feedback loop. By holding yourself accountable, you increase your chances of staying consistent. Having someone to check in with, or simply checking in with yourself, makes it harder to fall off track. Step 7. Build a support system. No one achieves success alone, and the same goes for consistency. Surround yourself with people who encourage your goals and understand the importance of consistency. Having a support support system can make all the difference when it comes to staying on track. You can join a group or community that shares your goals. Whether it's an online group, a fitness class, or a study group, being part of a community keeps you motivated and engaged. You'll also have people to share your progress with and get feedback from. Support systems are crucial for staying motivated and consistent over the long term. They give you a sense of belonging, and when you face setbacks or doubts, your support system can help you get back on track. Step 8. Celebrate small wins. One of the most effective ways to maintain consistency over time is by celebrating your small wins. It's easy to get discouraged when you're working toward a big goal, especially when progress feels slow, but every small step you take is a victory. For instance, if you've committed to working out every morning, celebrate your 10th workout, even if it's just 10 minutes long. If you're working on a project, celebrate finishing a small milestone, like completing the outline or researching a chapter. These small wins are fuel for your consistency. They remind you that you're on the right path and reinforce the habit of showing up each day. The key is to acknowledge your progress along the way. It's not just about the end goal, it's about appreciating the journey. By celebrating small wins, you keep your motivation up, and more importantly, you build the discipline to continue. Step 9. Stay flexible. While consistency is key, it's important to stay flexible in your approach. Life doesn't always go according to plan, and sometimes things will come up that prevent you from sticking to your routine. When that happens, don't be too hard on yourself. Adapt and get back on track as soon as possible. For example, if you miss a workout or fall behind on a project, instead of giving up or feeling guilty, just adjust. Flexibility allows you to bounce back quickly. It's better to miss a day and return with a renewed mindset than to give up entirely because of one slip-up. Remember, consistency isn't about rigid perfection. It's about adapting and continuing. The more flexible you are, the easier it will be to maintain consistency over time, even when life throws you off course. Step 10. Develop patience. Building consistency and achieving long-term success requires patience. The truth is, you won't see results overnight. Whether it's fitness, career, or personal growth, consistency takes time. You might be working hard every day, but results can feel slow to manifest. Here's the trick. Trust the process. Consistency is about building habits, and habits take time to solidify. Don't expect instant rewards. Focus on putting in the work every day and let the results come gradually. Be patient with yourself and trust that the consistency you're building now will pay off down the road. Patience also means not comparing your journey to others. Just because someone else has already achieved success doesn't mean you're failing. Your journey is unique, and with consistent effort, you'll reach your own version of success. Step 11. Stay accountable. Staying accountable is critical for building long-term consistency. It's easy to fall off track when you're working alone, but when you have someone checking in on you, it's much harder to procrastinate. Accountability partners can be friends, family, or colleagues who support your goals and help you stay on track. You could also join accountability groups online or in person, where everyone shares their progress and holds each other accountable. The key is regular check-ins. When you know someone is expecting updates from you, it motivates you to continue. But don't rely solely on others to keep you accountable. Hold yourself accountable by tracking your progress, setting reminders, and marking off completed tasks. The more you track your success, the more you'll want to keep going, and the easier it will be to stay consistent. Step 12. Keep a long-term focus. The most important thing to remember when building consistency is to keep a long-term focus. It's easy to get distracted by short-term setbacks or the allure of quick results, but true success comes from long-term commitment. When you set goals, think of the big picture. Where do you want to be a year from now? 5 years from now? Keeping this long-term vision in mind helps you stay focused when the going gets tough. It reminds you that success isn't just about a quick win, but about creating habits that will serve you for a lifetime. Stay connected to your long-term vision and purpose. Whether it's building a business, mastering a skill, or improving your health, remember that the little steps you take today will lead to big results in the future. So, now you know the power of consistency. It's time to start building those small, steady habits that will carry you to your goals. Commit to showing up every day, even when motivation isn't there. Break your goals down into small steps, celebrate your progress, and trust the process. Consistency beats motivation every single time. Let me know in the comments below, what's one area in your life where you'll start applying the power of consistency? I want to hear how you plan to show up daily, no matter how you feel. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more practical tips on how to turn your goals into reality. Remember, small, consistent actions lead to big results, and I'm here to help you every step of the way.